Commander's Log 4. These have been some fairly intense last days. On the one hand, the Ion Empire in the Koala Wallop sector has grown to be the single most largest player. However, there has arisen a serious contender. Well, firstly, the threat of Brusodian the Trustworthy has been all but eliminated. He retains 8 stars, is about to lose 1 in several hours, and the rest is mainly cleanup. Though the resistance on these planets at the moment is slightly too heavy for me to handle, reinforcements are on their way, and my fleets here currently are doing the best they can to handle the situation. Infinitum has taken his homeworld. I am calling dibs on Pollux, which is an incredible industry here, and possibly also Alwade, because that's just going to be an important stepping stone in conquering Pollux. We will have, after eliminating Brusodian, we will have the border war. This has been agreed upon, and it is completely a ruse. Recently, I have passed through Allied territory and taken all Arrakis from the Kron. Which is funny, because Kron has been throwing around insults, trying to spread dissent between myself and Infinitum. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on the position, his attempts will be successful to a level. To the public eye, we will be at war, trading planets, while in fact we will be just exchanging our planets to make a more straight border, to not have such incursive spikes within each other's territories. On the Spinwood side, there's Frozen Chicken. Frozen Chicken has been advancing steadily towards us, avoiding conflict with Sampi. Actually, I believe Sampi has been attacking Frozen Chicken, but we'll see. And Frozen Chicken has both taken a planet away from Infinitum and has been advancing towards Engstak. Both publicly and personally, I have vowed to uphold the independence of Engstak, including it as an enclave within my own holdings, but keeping it free from oppression, unconquered, working on their eternal quest to develop even better and better scanning technology. Frozen Chicken has no such agreement and must be stopped before an unfortunate accident happens or something. That is my public face of nobility. It has come to my attention that Sampai, the aggressor, has been allying with Evan Thoresen, the Retaliator, who also happens to be, who was an economy boomer but has slowed down recently, possibly building up industry to fend off Kron's incursions. There were some border conflicts between Kron and Thoresen. There was a border conflict between Kron and Infinitum. Everything has been more or less resolved diplomatically, but I can't help but feel that Kron has been profiting from all of this in one way or another. Although he clearly cannot afford an all-out conflict with one side because his neighbors on the other one might decide to just take over. However, I am not mitigated by such concerns and thus have begun taking potshots. A 4-ship fleet is grossly not enough to make an invasion force. But if I can take Nusakan, which has no industry, to economy, and science, I can halt Kron's progress, which is already slightly lagging. Actually, heavily lagging behind, but that's an insignificant detail. Then I can make him scared. And there was one agreement, a short spoken agreement without any actual diplomatic strength, that while I distract Kron on this side, Thorzen makes his move, conquers, wins. Thorzen has the sufficient backing from Senpais to not be threatened by others. I don't know how stable their alliance is, but it should be sufficient to let me, and maybe Thorzen, cripple Kron for a moment. The overgoal of this fleet of tax collection is to take away planets, as many planets as it can, preferably undefended planets, to just divert Kron's attention. If Kron is forced to retaliate, to guard his central core planets, all the above being his homeworld, I'm mistaken, yes, it's his homeworld, that means the borders get neglected, and maybe even if I can't convince Thorzen and Infinitum to perform an all-out strike, due to various prior agreements, I can possibly persuade Klisan to try assaulting Zanya, although he doesn't see it, and maybe options to take Arrakis and kick the can to claim some of the border worlds. The point is, my goal here is to weaken his position, both military and diplomatically. Maybe he might produce a stable cause that I am the main threat here, but I will also open the door for others to become more serious threats on his account, which makes it actually better for me. Stronger opponents means stronger worse damage in their internal conflicts or opportunities for me. The border war is we're supposed to trade up to 6 planets from my side, from the borders. To me, and some planets of Infinitum go to Optron. I'm sorry. And actually, I am currently considering giving the planets that I take away from Kron, giving them to either Infinitum or Optron, giving them free reign on them. So, I diffuse some of the tensions between myself and Kron while still achieving the overgoal there. And that, I believe, is everything I want to say. The galaxy is at war. Currently it's still localized, but the greater war the one where whole alliances clash together, is coming. Oh, one thing I forgot to report on. Kick the Can and Kleesan have been in conflict for the past 2 or 3 days. Apparently, Kleesan is currently at a loss. Because Kick the Can has been prudent enough to build up a strong, very strong economy and has burst through with from being quite undefended to being a serious threat to Kleesan. Kleesan is possibly the worst or second worst off, discounting Engstack, in the galaxy. So we'll see how that goes. At the moment, our alliances, the Daxon Entente, we have a name actually. Our alliance's position in this conflict is that we support both sides. Kleesan has been receiving weaponry while Kick the Can has received speed from me, and we will let them bog themselves down into more strife, which will open the door for a flanking force from Optron to claim some of these planets as a buffer zone, maybe. We'll see how that goes. It's a rather foggy issue at the moment. So, thank you for listening. This has been Commander of the Halceon forces in the sector, signing off.